everybody, I hope everyone's doing well. Well, today is January 14th, 2025, and I'm here to do my goals video. That's really what it is, but I'm going to have a different approach when it comes to that. So I'm going to have talk a little bit about there are 4 words that I'm bringing into 2025, and they're sort of maybe like concepts or things that I need to do in order for me to reach any goals that I want to do in my life for 2025. And then we'll talk about YouTube a little bit, and then I'll give you a life update, But yeah, I think 2025 for me is a little bit different, even though I'm coming into it a little bit rocky. A couple of things. In fact, I'm a little disheveled. Right now, I'm a little disheveled because I am dealing with something, though it's not me directly, like it's not things that I've been dealing with. It's an external thing that is greatly affecting me. Let's just put it this way. Well, no, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I've been in prayer about it, but it is an external thing that is definitely being affected. So I'm a little disheveled, but nonetheless, I'm here to make a video because this is what I want to do today. And then the other thing too is I live in Southern California, and California has been dealing with fires. Very destructive fires. And I just want you to know that if you are affected, if you're in that line of fire, whether you lost your home, you lost a business or animals, that my prayers are with you. And for all of those that are first responders and such, that I'm praying for your safety and that these fires can get contained. And I've been in prayer for you guys. I want to thank those of you who've reached out to me. There's been a comment here on my channel. I got Instagram messages and from Messenger being concerned about me, and I've responded to you guys. I'm okay where I live. I live east of all of that. So I'm okay. The only thing that where I live in particular, I'm very affected with the Santa Anas. And because I live in a valley, they hit much stronger. I've heard they're being clocked at 80 miles per hour. That's crazy. I don't ever remember. I don't. I've been here born and raised in Southern California, and I just don't remember them ever clocking that high. It has uprooted some trees in my area. There's been some type of property damages in my area due to the winds. And like I said, I've never dealt with it in that capacity. I don't remember, you guys. Maybe it has. It's just I don't remember. I remember 60-mile-an-hour winds, but this, and apparently this week as I'm recording this, they're supposed to continue, I think as of Wednesday, tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm just praying. I'm praying for all of you. As far as 2025, again, I really think that this is a year that I see a lot of potential in 2025. I love New Year's. Like, I love the concept of new start, fresh start. I know on the calendar, it's just another day, another turning of the page on the calendar, really. But I don't know. I think it's just also a mental kind of thing where you say, okay, new year, new goals. We start fresh, reevaluate, sort of take inventory, take stock, and it's just a good time to start something, fresh and new. And I think for me, 2025 can really bring a lot of good things because I've been working really hard for the past 2 years, really, but especially in 2024, been working really hard. And I don't know, I see some clarity in my life. I'm more driven, I'm more focused, and I think that I can apply a lot of my energy in reaching some goals finally. So I really am hoping and praying 2025 is a year of growth. However, I think that I need to apply some things that I need to be applied so that the goals can be met. So let's talk about those. I have my notes down here. So the first word is consistency. That goes without saying. I need to be consistent. I really never, for a long time, had any real consistency in anything. So the other word, it's 3 words really, but it's sort of, they all mean the same thing. But prioritizing and organizing and planning, I think that's going to be crucial as well. So planning out my days, prioritizing my days, my weeks, my month, maybe go out 6 months. to have sort of a game plan to meet the goals that I want to meet. And then exposure is another really important word that my therapist really started talking to me a lot about, especially at the latter part of last year. I'll put a text message from her that she sent me. She sent me that message, first of all, because she was concerned that because she knew I live in California, but then also because she wanted to make sure that exposure is a word that I'm doing every single day. And yeah, so, and this was because at the time at the insurance, I hadn't quite figured out the insurance, and we still are. Believe it or not, I've given her the information as of today. I've given her the information, and so she's going to get back with me to see what we can do, because the copay is really, really high. It is. And I had a feeling it was going to be. But again, she's going to work with me, and so I'm just waiting for her to get back on me on that. But she wanted to make sure and check in on me and tell me about exposure in particular, because it's the word that I'm bringing in. And it was so funny when she did that. And I thought, yep, because I need to expose myself. Okay, moving on from there. And then learning. This is year of me learning, and I'll get into what I mean by that. So those are the words that I want to bring into 2025. And I think if I implement these things, that for sure I will be able to reach my goal. All right, so let me go ahead and touch on a couple of things when in different categories that I really would love to see my growth. And I'm just going to touch on them, and then we'll move on into YouTube about what I'm going to bring onto YouTube, okay? Some of the things that I'm going to be talking about right now aren't necessarily going to be what I bring onto YouTube, but I just still want to share them with you guys. All right, my faith is at the top of that. You guys remember, I'll put a video right here where I talk about I'm learning the Bible with somebody. He's very, very knowledgeable. He really can throw out a verse. He knows the book in the Bible. He knows the chapter, the verses. And oh my gosh, it's crazy from the top of his head. But anyway, continue to learn my Bible. I need to be consistent in my lessons and things. So these words apply to all the things, again, that I'm going to be talking to you about. I would love to read the entire Bible by 2025, but I don't know. The pace that we go is very, very slow. There's a lot of discussion and things like that. So I'm going to let it, if I get to the whole Bible by 2025, it's fantastic. But honestly, this is something that I just want to continue to grow. Those are my goals when it comes to my faith. I also want to expose myself more in my church, be part of my church, offer myself to my church in different things that I can help them with. That's something I want to expose myself more to. So just things like that when it comes to my faith. The other thing too is I have a lot of books on my faith, and I want to read them. They're collecting dust. So I want to learn. I want to learn and grow in my faith. That's for sure. All right. Now, when it comes to my health and healing, I want to get to my goal weight of 140 by the end of the year. I had said that I wanted to get there by July 5th of 2025. That would be a 2-year anniversary for me. But we're going to go ahead and scrap that. I'm going to bypass that, and let's just go from today, January 2025, all the way down to the end. And I want to get to my goal weight of 140. But just a little side note, when I started this back in 2023, when I weighed in at 207.2. And as of right now, I'll put what I weigh right here just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm at. So I'm coming in at 181.2, and that's what I've been hovering over, which is not a bad thing. It's not really. But anyway, I would like to get to 140. Also, I have a lot of books on keto, so I would love to learn finally on keto. I do learn a lot from Dr. Ken Berry and his wife Nisha here on YouTube. I will add their channels below, and I learn a lot there. But I have a book here that my daughter got me for my birthday in October. This is a book that I want to read, and I have many, many books downstairs when it comes to keto and nutrition and the body and all this stuff. So just learn, and get through my books for sure. Now, by the way, this book was a recommendation from Nisha. This is the Dietitian's Dilemma by Michelle Hearn. She's a registered dietitian, and I want to read it. So I want to read, I want to learn, I want to get to my goal weight. I want to learn how to belly dance. I want to be an advanced belly dancer. I do belly dancing, belly motions with Portia here on YouTube. That's who I learned belly dancing with. And she has an advanced program, and I would like to eventually get there. So I really want to learn how to belly dance. As far as strength training, I want the physique that I'm looking for. You know, I'm 56 years old, menopausal, and you know, with high cortisol for most of my adult life. You know, it gets challenging, but I know I can reshape my body to a point, and I want to get to that point. So definitely see this body in a new physique, very healthy by strength training and things like that. So that's another goal. I would love to see myself this year stay on a ketovore diet for most of the year, which would be about 10 grams of carbs. I would love that, to hit those goals. But again, I think when it comes to like food and hitting the goals there, planning out my meals is going to be fundamental. Or, you know, maybe not so much the prep work, but the planning my meals on a week to week basis, because it's going to be a lot. There's a lot that I'm going to be doing this year. And so I really think that I need to really work and hone in on planning, and maybe, yeah, even prepping some of my meals for the week. I think that's going to be really, really crucial. And then just minute things like learn how to cook with different condiments and different ways of eating ketovore. It's not a lot of choices, but I would love to introduce more foods in 2025 for sure. Nisha has a lot of recipes and things on her channel that I would love to try. She does ketovore, so I want to try some of her things. Okay, guys, I want to talk a little bit about my store. I'm a reseller rather, and I sell on eBay and Posh. And even though I may not be bringing this precise subject to YouTube, I kind of want to share with you my goals, and I'll tell you why at the end. So let me run through just some preliminary goals that I would love to see happened with my online selling, and I have them written down. So let me run through those really, really quickly. All right, I want to get to 650 listed items, active listed items on eBay, 650 by the end of the year. I think it's very, very doable, but I have to apply these concepts for sure. Now, Posh, I don't cross list everything. I just don't. It's just not feasible. But with eBay, I want to get to 650 listing items. I want to make X amount of money. Now, I've been toying with I was looking at my finances and things like that, and I would love to make X amount of money, bring in that every month, but I need to build to that. I need to apply these concepts. But by 2025, I definitely would love to see X amount as a source of income for me. That's very excited. I would love to see that. Also, I want to clear out my old inventory. Oh, you can't see it, but I still have totes of inventory that I purchased throughout years and years and years and years and years and years. I want to either finally get them up and listed or sell them elsewhere, but dealt with. I no longer want to lug around things that are so old. Now, I've already started doing that, but I want to complete it by, oh my gosh, I would love to see by June, but I'm going to give myself the whole year to do it. Clear out old inventory, list it, or get it out of here and sell it elsewhere. I want to get another platform. I would love to sell on another platform like Mercari or something like that. And then learn. I want to learn brands that really are sought after. And with the people that I watch, they share all of that information that I'm starting to get like a little bit of a spreadsheet that I am carrying with me to get to know these different brands. And also items. I want to diversify better. I tried to diversify before on my online selling, but I was in no position to do that. And I rushed into it without doing any of the research. So I want to learn items that are sought after. And also, I've been doing this, but also where I source, I want to expand where I source out from. And there's ways to do that too. So those are just some of the goals aside from other things, but those are just sort of running down some of the goals that I would love to see in my store. I do have some goals when it comes to makeup, and I brought makeup up because, well, it's something that I had brought up here onto my channel. I don't have a lot of goals. I only have really two main goals. One is to touch every single shadow I owned. I tried to do that in 2024. In fact, I have the master list where these are all of the shadows that I own. These are all the shadows. Every single shadow is on here, and I've touched some. As you can see, I have some highlighted areas that I did touch, but I didn't finish. I would like to finish, so I'm going to work on a new master list. I'm not going to really add more shadows to these. Not really, because I didn't buy much makeup last year. I really did it maybe a little bit at the beginning of the year, but throughout the year, it's really been about focusing on my therapy, my marriage, and things like that. So I don't have really much to add. So I want to touch every single palette and shadow this year. The other thing I do, and I will show you in another video, I have a palette that I want to pan. Okay, so those are the only real two challenges when it comes to my makeup. I just don't own a lot of anything else. I really, really don't. And I'm not going to be on a no buy or anything like that. I've seen those types of challenges. I'm not, because I've already started last year. I had to put myself on a budget, and I just didn't buy a lot anyway. So I don't need to put myself on a no buy challenge. I am on a budget challenge though, but that's been with me for a bit. So whatever I have little monies, that's what I use to buy my makeup, and that's just going to continue. Okay, guys, I'm going to touch on this a little bit just because I just brought it up in the last segment, but that is finances. Now, I'm going to bring this up because in September of 2024, I took over the finances of my home. I took over the bills and the budgets and things like that. And I'm somebody who loves to do that. I do. I'm somebody who has envelopes for this and for that, for maintenance, for gas, for groceries, I'm that person. And so I have a goal in mind when it comes to finances that I would love to reach an X amount of money and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that up because this is what helped me to curve the spending on my makeup. So that's what I'm saying. I already been doing that, but I do have some financial goals, and I just kind of wanted to share that's another aim that I have going on privately that I'm working on, and I get great satisfaction in doing that. So I do have a financial goal that I would love to see. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about YouTube. I don't know why I said it like that, but let's talk about YouTube. First of all, let's talk about my name, Walking for Life. I had talked about wanting to change it, and I still do. I still want to change my name. I think this year I will. That's what my goal is, to change it, but I am pondering a couple of names. And when I hear it, when it makes sense to me, when it calls to me, as they say, then I will change it. But I am looking to change my name. I think Walking for Life served me. It did. And I enjoyed it, but I just want to change it. I do. The other thing too is I've always wanted to learn how to edit better. I don't know, have my videos be a little bit more fun and some editing. Part of the problem why I don't, one is because I have Final Cut Pro as my editing software. So a lot you can do. It's very, to me, it's very, it might be easy once you get going, but it seems a little intimidating. There's a lot you can do, but there is a lot you have to add on in order for you to do certain things. But regardless, with my Final Cut Pro, I feel like I can add some things. The only thing is really with editing and adding things is the copyright material. Oftentimes I will put something for you guys and I make it a little bit fun, but then I remove those pop-ups because I'm thinking, oh, what about the copyright claim? Because I don't know how to credit the proprietor of it. With my songs, I do. I know how to credit, but with the images or anything like that, I don't. So I would love to learn that part of it. I'm sure it's easy. I'm sure it's an easy learn. It's just, I don't know. I just want to get more creative with the editing. I enjoy it, but I would love to improve on that for 2025. All right. Now, as far as what I'm going to be bringing onto YouTube, honestly, I want to continue with my health and healing. That is something that I definitely want to continue bringing. So after therapy talks are going to be some part of it, not all the time, because really in therapy right now, it's just about techniques and stuff. And I mean, like, I want to bring on here what is like something that I discovered, something monumental, something that I'm learning, something that I'm growing in, something like that. My weigh-ins, weekly weigh-ins, I would love to do a weekly weigh-in, but definitely my weigh-ins, my belly dancing, definitely want to do my strength training, so exercises and things like that. When it comes to that, maybe some cooking videos, some keto haul videos. Maybe we can even do some like book reviews. Once I get through some of the books, we can do some book reviews and things like that. I would love to do something like that. But whatever it has to do with health and healing, that's what I want to bring onto YouTube. All right. The other thing that I would love to bring onto YouTube is my makeup. I want to bring that back. I love my makeup. I do. So get ready with me, I'm going to be bringing back the roulette wheel. I don't know how often, but we're going to do the roulette wheel, where the roulette wheel picks a palette, which is a great way, again, for my goals to hit all of my palettes. And then I will put in the shadows of that palette in a roulette wheel, and it'll pick 4 shadows. and then I will create a look. So that's a great challenge. I like that challenge. I think it's fun. Empties for sure. I tend to do those quarterly, but I will be having one at the end of the year. It's going to be a little bit of a big one because I've been decluttering some of my older makeup, like lipsticks and things like that. So look out for that. So empties for sure. The other thing I want to do, like a get ready with me, maybe even some hauls, makeup hauls. Again, they may not be as frequent, but when I have something to share, I will. Also, if I find a good product to share, I want to share that with you guys. Nothing really crazy. It's pretty much the same things that I brought in the past. I'm just going to bring them. I don't have any, like I said, I've already talked about makeup challenges and things like that. I'm not going to be like on a no buy or whatever. Again, whatever monies I have, whatever I find, I will come and do a haul for you guys. All right, hauls. Let's talk about hauls. Now, one of the things I really do like bringing to you are my thrift hauls. Because I'm a reseller, I go to thrifting a lot, mainly searching for things to put on my store. Now, there was a time there where I would not show that part of it, but I would just show things that I would buy for myself or my home. I think I'm just going to include it all. So when it comes to things about my eBay or my reselling, that part I will bring in. I will show you what I buy when it comes to my reselling, but also things from my home. So hauls are definitely going to be part of my channel because I like it. I like bringing to you guys what I buy, The other kind of thing when it comes to thrifting and things is I like to buy clothing for myself. And there was a time there where I was doing like these fashion shows for you guys with things that I bought with my thrift store, with my thrift find. Sorry, you guys. I want to bring that back. I would love to bring that back, especially if I start going down, not if, can't say that. As I lose the weight and I buy the clothes, I want to do like a fashion show for you guys. I think that will be really, really fun and bring that back for you guys. So that's part of a little fashion show kind of stuff. So I think that is really everything I want to bring on to my channel. Now, okay, the reason why I brought up some of the goals when it comes to my faith, when it comes to my store, and I share these things with you guys, even though they're not going to be a main focus of my channel, I'm going to sneeze, hold on, is because what I would like to do as the year goes by, maybe revisit some of these things, and give you like an update, how I'm doing on my store. Have I been reaching these goals? How many I have up on eBay? Am I reaching my financial goals? Am I opening up a new platform? So I would love to revisit these things with you guys just to give you an update. And that's why I brought them up. So they're not going to be regular content, but I would just like to share with you if how I'm doing in those areas. So I think that would be fun to bring to you guys on my channel. And real quickly, I want to touch on this, but vlogs, this is something I really, really like to do, but I'm going to suspend them for a little bit because there is a lot, and realistically, it's just not feasible for me to do the vlogs, sit here and edit and then do all this other stuff. It's not, but I would love to throw in an occasional vlog as we go along. I think that would be fun too. In the vlogs, I just vlog my life, whatever it entails. Not very exciting, but nonetheless, just an occasional vlog. Now, finally, I do want to talk about my marriage. It's an update that I feel like I've owned you guys. I've been talking about my marriage last year, and it's something that I'm going to continue to bring onto my channel and give you guys updates when it comes to that, because it's part of what I'm going through. It's part of what I've been dealing with, and it's taught me a lot. It really, really has, in terms of my marriage. Real quickly, if you're new, welcome. I hope that you subscribe and you stick around. And if you've been with me and been here with me and supporting me and still here, thank you so much. So if you're new, welcome, and if you've been with me, thank you. Last year I got separated from my 24-year marriage. This March will be 25 years. In 2025 I'll be married 25 years, but last year we got separated, and in April I went into therapy. I've been working on myself. My husband ended up going to therapy, but then he ended up quitting therapy. He lives here. He does live here, and so it presented a challenge, but I think that at the end it was a blessing in disguise, which I will talk about. And then through the course of healing, learning, understanding about my marriage, I learned the dysfunction of what it was. I learned as well and understood that I could not make a marriage, change the marriage. There was nothing I can do, not alone anyway. And I also understood that what the issues we had, the issue of the marriage, the dysfunction, really came down to one thing. Therefore, the things that happened in my marriage were not done in an intentional way or anything like that. And so I got to understand all that. But also what ended up happening was when you realize that there is nothing that's in your control or in your hands to be able to create the marriage, because dysfunction, it was. Staying in that could not happen. I mean, it just couldn't. And so when I started to realize that, I come to terms with that, I sort of started grieving the loss of my marriage. I didn't know that I was doing that. My therapist says you are grieving your marriage. And so she walked me through that. She explained to me that, and I sort of went through that process. And when I feel like I was coming out on the other end of that, that's when I started sort of being able to be here with him in a much different way. I was much more relaxed. We were talking, we were laughing, we would go out. And it really started to feel more like a friendship. You know, it really, really did. As my faith started growing, as my understanding again of really understanding that he never did anything intentional to me or purposely, it wasn't done maliciously or purposely. And as my faith was growing, I was able to do those things. It was hard, don't get me wrong, before getting to that point. It was so difficult. Oh my gosh, was it difficult? There was many and endless of crying and praying and just feeling overwhelmed. And it was, I mean, I even pulled back from YouTube. It was just so hard. It was not an easy thing to go through in the least. But I think, you know, looking back now, it was a blessing and that he was here, because it really forced me to look at what I needed to look at, learn at what I needed to learn and understand, and then even grow in my own faith. With all that said, let me go ahead and tell you where we're at today. Before I do that, let me tell you a story. Now, this story, I really thought about it because it's so crazy. It's so crazy that things in my childhood, events in my childhood sort of come back sometimes. Was it like a foretelling? I don't know. Let me tell you a story. I had a friend. I've known her since I didn't know her like in elementary. In middle school, we got to know each other, but in high school, we really connected and we would do a lot of things together, especially in our sophomore year. And one of the things is when we would walk home, sometimes I would go to her house, come to find out her parents were divorced and they lived together. Okay. They were great friends. They had 2 kids, my friend and her sister. And they were, at that point, they were divorced a number of years, but they decided to live together because they helped each other financially. And because they owned the property, the house, they just didn't want to mess with all that. But it worked. It worked. And it was so crazy because I remember when I first realized that, or when I was first told that, I was like, huh? They're divorced? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I mean, I remember one time I went over there and the mom was getting ready to go on a date. You know what I mean? So that was like really foreign to me, but it always stuck with me. I don't know why it always stuck with me. I don't know. It just really, really did. You know, after high school graduation and things like that, we kind of went our own ways or whatever. I really haven't kept in touch. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that story. Keep that in mind. So what ended up happening in the middle of December around there, I had been telling my therapist that I was ready to move on, that I wanted to move on, that, you know, I have a piece of paper that says that I'm married, but it's not validated in any capacity. You know, I can't move on, you know, and do my thing because I have a piece of paper that I do honor. I do honor it. And also, I don't really live a married life. So I need to resolve this piece of paper in essence. And so I had been working with her in December, really. About the middle of December, I sat with my husband and I gave him some options. I talked to him about it. I gave him some options. One of those options, it was both the options with divorce, but one of them was to go ahead and live together like we've been. I have no problem with it. I've proven that I can do it. I've grown, I've learned, and I accept it, you know? Do I love him? Yes. Okay, I do. But I have a piece of paper that does not allow me to move in any capacity. I'm sort of stuck. I'm neither here nor there. So I brought it up with him. I said, we can divorce and live together and stay together and just be what we are, very cordial. Or if that's not something you think you can do, then we will move on. And so this is why I told you that story. because I remembered my friend and I said, well, it can be done. I had approached my therapist with that and I said, what do you think? She says, Laura, it can be done. It can be done. And the truth of the matter is, Laura, there's a lot of things about your husband that you really appreciate, that you really enjoy. And again, my situation is nobody had an external affair. Nobody, it's not a DV situation, neither physically nor verbally. There's no substances abuses, but nevertheless, the core of the issue is a big issue. It's a big problem in a marriage, a huge. And so, there's no way around that. And so she said it absolutely could be done. It certainly can be done until you both parties, you cut your ways, you divorce, and then you let life dictate where you guys go, right? And so that's what I did. That's what I approached him with. I also told him that, you don't answer now. Let's get through Christmas. We got through Christmas just fine. There was no tension or anything. We were very, very relaxed. We had a fantastic Christmas with the kids and everything, grandkids. And so right after Christmas, however, he did approach me. He actually approached me and I was shocked. I made a video. I think I linked it already. If I didn't, I'll link it here. I think I did. But in that video, I talked about how that I had said to you guys that we are sorting things out, that things are being solidified because they were. Like I had given him that option and things. He just basically told me that, he's been reflecting a lot. And so that told me he has self-awareness. When you have self-awareness, my therapist taught me, and I've come to learn that for myself, is that when you have self-awareness, you spend hardly any time pointing the finger at other people. You don't tell them about themselves. You don't have to, you don't do this all the time. You're not doing this because you have enough, you self-reflect. And then you become confident in yourself and you work on yourself that you don't need to spend time telling people about themselves. You know what I mean? And so when I started to see how he had that reflection, because it was more about what he's learning, it was about what he's understanding, it was about what he's done, what he's created. And that was the conversation. And I knew that there was something happening in him. And I'll leave that part there. I don't want to get too much into the conversation because it's his private thing. Now he does know I'm making the video. He's always known that I made these videos and they're available for him to watch. And I have talked to him about doing this portion of the video. So where we're at right now is we are still separated. However, we are coming together on a very regular basis, talking about us, learning about us, and we are moving forward. I've always said that hope is the last thing you lose. And one of the things my therapist said to me, sometimes people, like in the situation of my husband, sometimes they need to lose something or feel like they're losing in order for them to react. Did that happen in this case? I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but maybe it did. And he didn't see that I would be, maybe it surprised him when I came up with those options. And there were the only two options I came up with. And I think that sort of had him reflecting more. Now, he had been prior to that. He said he had been seeing me get stronger. And he said, and I see such changes in you. And I see how you really weren't, so much worried about anymore about me as much as you were growing in yourself. That means he has been observant. And so that's a good thing. Anyways, that's where we're at. We are working at it. And we'll see. I'll tell you what the biggest difference is this time. And when it comes to the biggest difference is that I know better. Okay. That I am very aware and that I've learned a lot and I know the situation. I know what to look for. And the thing that I did tell him was that, it's not going to be like another 24 years or anything like that. This is an everyday process and an everyday learning and growing for a better aim, that if I see, because I know what to look for, I see that, it's just not moving, both of us together, growing, that the original things will stand, and I'm okay with that. Do I want that to be the ultimate outlook or outcome? No, I never wanted a divorce. I never wanted this. I knew the separation had to be, but I never wanted the divorce. Okay, never. That's not what I looked for. But I know what to look for now. I'm very clear on things. And so that is the biggest difference this time around. And he knows that. Anyways, my friends, that is it. That is everything. Thank you so much for hearing me. And I will be back very, very soon. Take care. Bye.